you. Okay, we all know why we're here, right?
Make sure that the artifacts we calmed stay calmed. We know.
This should be easy. Yanarl, you and Strife take the first set. Irlin and Hamuel take the second. Rook and I will handle the rest.
You picked me. I'm so flattered.
Well, of course, I know you. I mean, I don't know you yet. Not that. Anyway.
Just lead the way and I'll follow.
All right, now we're going to check the crystal alignment, fade connection, and the lyrium reserves.
Has alignment ever been a problem? Even once?
It's not worth the risk. Even if it's only off by a little bit, we know what happens.
Happened once, and we can't even be sure the crystal alignment was why. Look, I know what you're saying, but maybe if
We check it every single time.
I'm sorry. You're right, Sorry.
Forget it.
All right, go team.
It's my fault, really. I'm sorry, Belara.
Let's go. We want to get back quickly. Of course. See you soon.
So, what was all that about?
What was what all about?
That tension seemed pretty heavy.
It's nothing. Don't worry about it. Here we are, the artifact vault. Or one of them, at least.
Looks like it's seen better days.
Repairing reality doesn't leave a lot of time for repairing walls. At least until someone falls through a hole in the floor. Random example. Okay, see those two power crystals? The ones that are...
Okay, new power crystal is in.
Great, and the artifact didn't collapse the room.
Was that a possibility?
Always is. And there we go.
So it's calmed now?
Should be, and it'll stay that way for a while. And in the meantime, it won't tear open reality. Okay, let's keep going.
Sure. Sounds good. So, it's nice out, at least. You know, ignoring that reality itself is paper thin here.
Hard to ignore that.
Right. Found one.
Great! Bring it over here and put it in the socket.
So what did this artifact do? Before it was calmed, I mean.
It would bring flaming rocks down all around it, every 30 minutes. And for some reason, you'd hear chanting while it did it. Not sure what that was about. Okay, reserves replaced, which means there. Everything's looking good. Thank you, by the way, for helping out. You have better things to do, I know.
I'm happy to help. Besides, you're fun to spend time with.
Really? Oh, I mean, that's so nice. I like spending time with you too. Okay, one more to go. Not too far now. Thank you for giving me this chance to help people.
You were already kind of doing that, as a veil jumper.
Sort of, but it was never as big, you know? As grand. Helping you. Well, we're helping lots of people. Everywhere. I like that.
So, how do you calm an artifact anyway?
You have to cut it off from its power source, but carefully. Some of them like to try and blow up when you do it. Hey, Rook.
What do you need?
Never mind.
Found the other crystal.
Great, slot it in. There. Done.
You okay?
Oh, I'm fine. Or will be. It takes a lot out of you, all those little magic bits. Not hard, just exhausting. But it needs to be done, and done right.
Any Veil jumper could do this. You need to watch yourself so you don't burn out. Why would you specifically have to do it?
Because maybe then I can make up for it.
Make up for what?
For not being good enough when it counted. I'm sorry, I can't. Not right now.
Alara, I'm,
My brother,
What?
back there. You asked me why I did this. Why I put myself out here. For him. For my brother. Wherever he is.
What happened to your brother?
Syrian. His name was Syrian. We were the same, you know? In a lot of ways. We wanted to learn everything. About Elvenon, the magic, the people, all of it. We heard about the Nodus Thalin. Figured it had the answers. Or some of them. Then Arlathan started going wrong. I joined the Veil Jumpers to help people. And he kept looking, kept putting himself in danger. It should have been safe. I know, I checked that artifact 3 times. I guess it should have been 4. Artifact started pulsing. He was too close. I couldn't find my way in. They called him a hero. Wanted to make a statue. They thought it would make it all okay. It wasn't fair. But it never is it? Syrian felt responsible. For our people. For me. My little brother. He thought he needed to take care of me. He called me Vora Shivan. Hummingbird. In Elven. Said it was because I could never sit still. But he loved me for it. Said it kept him thinking, trying to keep up. And he helped me too. He kept me focused, anchored. And now he's gone. Because I wasn't good enough.
It's not your fault. You have to know that.
Then why does it feel like it was?
You lost someone important. Guilt's part of that. But if you don't learn to get past it, you'll drown.
I wish it were that easy. I've tried. The told myself I couldn't have done anything, and my head believes it. But my heart doesn't. So I try to make up for it. Honor him. Learn about our people. Find the truth. Maybe when I do, I'll feel it.
Feel what?
That he forgives me. And that I deserve it. We should head back. Rook. Thank you for being here.
Ugh, what a horrible way to go.
My word, carnivorous plants. Perhaps we can bring one back to the lighthouse for Harding to,
That's a no. Let's not stick around and become dessert.
Hey, yeah.
This should be perfect. It's wide open, lots of rocks, and away from people. I don't want to try anything where I could hit someone.
Oh, this sounds exciting.
I know. Come on.
Being able to move the terrain's gonna be really useful for a scout.
Getting up high for good vantage.
Let's try it out. For practice.
All right. See this rock? I'm gonna move it. Oh, awkward.
Don't give up. You're still new at this.
I can do this. I can do this.
You can do this.
But I did it before, when we were fighting Darkspawn.
We were in danger. Maybe that helped?
So, a mental cue. Some kind of emotional trigger.
Maybe you could think about how your abilities protect us?
Instinct. Protection. Shield myself. Shield others. If I had this magic before, I could have... I could have protected the people who matter.
I'm here for you if you want to vent.
And make us both miserable? Let's not. I just want to enjoy the moment. Being around you makes me feel lighter somehow.
Your hair is so bright in the sunlight. Sorry, it's just, really pretty.
Oh, thanks.
Are you blushing?
No. I mean, yeah. You try moving rocks with your mind. I mean, I should go practice more. Shouldn't I? I should.
I wonder what's up there. Think you could find us a route?
Maybe. I'll take a look.
bet you could move this to give us something to climb on.
Right.
Well done. Let's find another rock for you to practice on.
The multitudes called out, finding solace in each other.
What?
I don't know. I was just saying something, wasn't I? Huh. Just came to me.
Think you could clear a path for us?
You got it.
Look at that. You're getting good. Want to try another one?
Why not? I'm on it. There you go.
Practice is really helping, huh?
I might even be ready for a bigger challenge now. So many rocks. And they feel different. That one's granite. That one's slate. I think that one might be quartz. I wonder if the rock's composition affects my magic. Sorry, just thinking out loud. Let's get back to it. Practicing, I mean.
Does that happen a lot? Getting feelings that you can't suppress? This one.
Got it.
Let's find a couple more.
Of course. Heard ya.
It's no trouble for you now.
I know. This is great. Leave it to me.
Good work. You got the hang of this stone thing.
I'm definitely getting there.
What was that?
Someone's in trouble.
Over here, Harding. We need to move quick.
Please, someone! Is anyone out there?
Someone's in trouble. We need to go.
I can't move.
Hold on. Up over there. That's where he is.
How about if you moved this rock? There he is. Let's hurry. Easy.
Maker. I thought I was dead for sure.
Harding wouldn't let that happen.
The rocks. How did you do that?
Harding?
Do you hear that?
Hear what?
Sister, I feel you, touched by the ancients as I was. Find me. Look to those closest to the stone, and find me.
Harding? What's wrong? What are you hearing?
I'm sorry. Let's just get our friend to safety, and then we'll talk. Ugh. Okay.
I'm sorry, but I find it completely unnatural.
I don't get why you think cremation's so bad. Everyone outside Navarra burns their dead.
All those lost vessels. Fine mansions reduced to ash. Manfred, for instance. How would his wisp have fared if I hadn't given it a body?
Manfred's very aware for one of the common dead.
Isn't he? You can see why I couldn't leave him behind. I encountered him as a wisp in the necropolis years ago. A simple spirit, but so curious. He refused to leave my side.
So, you built a skeleton for the spirit to live in?
Spirits are formed from the emotions and desires of people in the mortal realm. Manfred's wisp came from curiosity. It's these spirits which animate the dead. Their drive revives the corpse, yet the corpse colors their actions. Thus, the eternal question, are undead inhuman spirits puppeting a body, or does some shade of the departed return?
I feel something of the soul returns when we revive the deceased.
That's my view as well. It's difficult, isn't it, to prove those lingering glimpses may be grace.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, you sound different when you talk more and watch things. Way fancier.
I do no such... No, I don't.
Thanks, Professor. I learned a lot today.
My pleasure.
You've been quiet?
I know. Just thinking. But I said we'd talk, didn't I? I heard a voice after we saved that man. It told me I was touched by the ancients and that I should seek it out. Seek her out.
Do you think this voice has answers about your magic?
She must! What if she's like me? Maybe that's why only I heard her. She said to look to those closest to the stone to locate her.
Meaning...
The children of the stone. Dwarves. Not surfacers like me, but the ones from the deep roads. Almost 10 years ago, a shaper from Orzammar bonded with a titan.
Titans, ancients... You think it's related?
It would make sense, wouldn't it? Volta. That was the shaper's name. Maybe there are more like her down there.
I'd like for you to get the answers you're looking for.
Me too. I know some people in Orzammar. I'll reach out. If I hear anything, you'll be the first to know.
That veil bubble we found you in, how often do those happen in Arlathan?
Sometimes, often, never. Depends on the day, and they're unpredictable. And with Elgranon and Gillenane loose, who knows what might get twisted up.
Well, isn't that a treat?
Inherent instability and survival uncertainty aside, they really are fascinating.
I'll take your word for it.
Never thought I'd see a living city smothered by the Blight.
Let's ask Myrna and Vorgoth about these hauntings.
I'd also appreciate it if we could see to those displaced wisps. As I'm sure Rook's explained, the spirits of the Grand Necropolis reside here willingly. Most of our working dead are animated by unthinking wisps, which are little more than impulses from the Fade. But later, I could introduce you to some truly intelligent undead.
So you know a thing or two about wisps?
As much as any watcher of my rank.
I might have questions for you later.
What do we have here? There we go. Here's one of those scattered wisps you mentioned, Emmerich.
It's out of alignment. Let's find a receptacle for it while it recovers.
Let's see if we can figure this out. That did it. There we go. The door's locked. Maybe it'll open if we bring more wisps.
Locked to keep us out, or locked to keep something in?
They're powerfully warded, and yet... someone passed through these doors not long ago.
We got it.
Straight away.
Can't do this without a wisp.
Is that the last of them? We need one more wisp for that locked door.
Right. Let's look around. This is about. We got it. That last wisp's unlocked this door. Let's take a look.
Company, get ready. Dead. Venatori. That demon in here must have killed them, but how'd they get past the lock before us?
An excellent question.
Sealed tight.
Stand back. Are you Venatori? Other sniffing rats? What form have you all? This vault's riches are mine. I tore them from the dead, and with me, they will remain.
Definitely a demon.
And a powerful one, to have been kept behind such ancient locks instead of simply banished.
Let's search around. Maybe the Venatori knew something. This note says the door's seals are tied to demons out in the world. Killing them unseals the door, but they'll keep returning until we destroy whatever's behind the door itself.
Nasty trick, but we can't ignore it.
The Order would be grateful. I've never even heard of this spirit.
Let's keep an eye out. Did I see you writing a message to the Inquisition? What's that about?
You know, Varric and I were part of the Inquisition, right? I'm trying to get news about the South. But Charter hasn't replied to any of my messages. I'm trying not to worry about what's happening there, but... No, it's probably fine. Charter's just busy. She's always busy.
Charter? Who's that?
She's the Inquisition's spy master. Or she would be, if there was still an Inquisition. I suppose she just works for the Inquisitor now?
I haven't heard much about the Inquisition in years.
Oh, that's intentional. When the breach was open, we needed a large group to stop Southern Thetis from falling into chaos. It's changed in the years since. We're a smaller force working underground to keep an eye on things going on in the world.
Does your spy master expect something from us? I don't work for the Inquisition.
I know that, and Charter knows that. But there are still people in the organization invested in knowing how things are going. With Solus, especially.
So how long were you with the Inquisition? 10 years?
Something like that. Why?
You must know the Inquisitor.
Well, yeah, we worked together. I wasn't part of the Inquisitor's inner circle, though. I spent more time with the ordinary people, the ones you didn't hear about.
So tell me about these ordinary Inquisition members I haven't heard about.
The Inquisition hired hundreds, and most of them weren't Magisters or Ben Hasrith or the left hand of the Divine. There were scouts and stable hands, carpenters and cooks and quartermasters, even 2 dedicated pastry chefs. Most of them volunteered, like me. We wanted to help in whatever small way we could.
It wasn't as bad where I was, but I remember the demon spitting sky holes.
Nothing like demon-spitting sky holes to bring people together, huh? I made friends. Rector, Faulkner, others.
Rector, Faulkner...
Liliana gave all her agents pseudonyms.
Right, like Charter.
Well, Charter's Charter, but when the other 2 and I were together, we were just Lace, Wilbur, and Katya.
But you did know people from the Inquisitor's inner circle, didn't you?
I knew them, sure, but those early days, all I wanted was to prove myself and not get in anyone's way. Some of them were more approachable than others. Sarah was a puppy with a new toy. 100 new toys. Fun, if you can handle the mess. She was really the only one who could make Rainier, well, Blackwall then, let down his guard. Otherwise, he kept to himself and stuck to the stables. We'd talk when I visited the horses. And there was Cole, of course.
The spirit boy?
Yep. I was just sitting on the walls one day, and he asked if he could join my game.
Like a card game?
Nah, just good old people watching. Must have seemed like a game to him somehow. We'd pick strangers out of the crowd and try to say something about them. Like, ooh, she heard the joke yesterday and she's still trying not to laugh. Or one of Cole's. His eyes remind her of the ones beneath her bed.
Who stores eyes under their bed? I'm partial to a nice wall display myself.
Well, that's one interpretation that never occurred to me. Thanks.
You're welcome. Wasn't Cole an empath? He must have been great at this game.
Ah, but the rule was you couldn't say anything you actually knew. He got it in the end. I think.
So you didn't ask him if he guessed right?
Well, being right wasn't the point. Making a habit of seeing people was. I think he liked that. It's why you don't miss.
And the Inquisitor's advisors? What about them?
Of all of them, I'd say Josephine is my favorite. She's lovely. She still sends me a box of handmade sweets from Val Royeaux every year on my name day. Cullen and I got along too, but he was always busy. He would have bad days from lyrium withdrawal sometimes, and I would share the tea that my ma sent. He's from Ferelden too. Maybe it reminded him of home.
What about Leliana? I heard she's intense.
I think she likes to cultivate that reputation. She's not nearly as terrifying as she sounds. Oh, I passed her in the Great Hall one day, and she suddenly turned and asked me if I wanted a nug.
A nug? Those small pink rodent things? What for?
She loved them and made a hobby of breeding them as pets.
So did you take the nug?
No! What am I gonna do with a nug?
Do you miss it? The Inquisition, I mean.
It's hard to miss an organization. They're only as good as their people, don't you think? But I do miss my friends. We write each other, but it's not the same. And the Inquisition is different from what we've built here. Not better or worse, just different. It's special when you're among people working toward the same goal.
Not everyone. There was Solus. What did you really think of him back then?
Lonely. He always seemed lonely. It's hard not to be when you hold yourself above everyone else.
You mean it's hard not to be lonely when you're a pompous ass?
Something like that.
You can say it, you know. Try it out. Solus is a pompous ass.
Maybe he is, but I can still feel sorry for him, can't I? Anyway, I'm sure something out there's on fire, and here I am rambling about the past. I should let you go. Talk later?
It's been a while since I was in Devinter, but I remember you. I was chasing a rageling, and you were after...
The Voldormer job?
Is that what you call it? I call it a mess.
Then joining this team, it'll be just like old times.